Scott live as he reports in from Freedom Base 1.
Gigi, I've decided not to leave this town. Maybe I can stay and find some other nice people who will like me and accept me for who I am.
Trusting your spirit, yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Middle school was the first time I ever attended a private school, and because my class was really diverse, I didn't feel a need to hide my culture because everyone else had their own culture that they celebrated. Coming into Grace Church freshman year was when I sort of tried to suppress part of my identity because I realized that that's not something I shared with my friends. It was also something that I was slightly kind of mocked for, and so I somehow convinced myself that that's something people shouldn't know about me. And then through being a part of a more diverse friend group in which all my own friends were celebrating their own differences, I then felt like it was okay for myself to celebrate my culture and my differences.
If you go to a predominantly white institution and the norm is white girls that are thin and tall with long, blonde hair, it's hard to accept yourself being in that space because you're not the norm and you're not what everyone expects. So going to the Grace Middle School was especially hard because I was 13 and I was just coming into myself and I was trying to figure out who I was and what I meant, what that meant to the other students at the school, and it was hard to accept that I was different from them because being new, no one wants to be an outsider. I just never wanted to accept my blackness when I was at the middle school. It's sad, but it's the reality because sometimes me being black and coming from Queens and I was just so different from all the kids at the middle school and it was really hard to accept that. But coming to the high school, I think I really was able to accept myself more because I found friends that were more like me and they could relate to where I came from in Queens and the fact that our parents don't let us stay out until 12 a.m. We all have we have to go home and we have long train rides and we're not rich, but we can understand each other's experiences and going to this school and not being white and not being and not being wealthy. I think that finding people like that made the experience easier.
No, she's a columnist.
Is that Selena?
Yeah, did you not look at our board? We spent a very long time making this.
Is that?
I
This
guess.
is my king, Romeo Santos. Look at him. Mi novio.
So I went to SDLC in 2016. I went to the Atlanta conference with a few other students from school, and it was incredible. I'd never ever been around so many kids of color that were so interested in social justice and making changes at their school. And I think one of the most profound experiences I had was definitely at the Black Affinity Group because as I was sitting in the conference room with hundreds of other black kids, I realized it had been years since I had been around exclusively black kids and black kids from all over the US. That's so rare because of where I go to school. Although we do go to a PWI, we're important to our school also, and we're important in general. And it's easy to lose sight of that being in such a being in such a place where not many people can share your socioeconomic identity, not many people can share your cultural identity, and not many people can share your racial identity. So it's easy to lose sight of the fact that who you are is important even though who you are is rare in your community.
I went to the Black Affinity Group and I walk in and there's 600 other black students my age that all go to independent schools just dancing. There's music blasting and everyone's jumping up and down, acting like we've known each other. It was like a giant barbecue as if we were all cousins. We just pretended that we knew each other automatically. people were telling me, oh, your hair's so beautiful, or where did you get this article of clothing, and I'd ask them the same thing back, and we were like, you're such a baddie, you're so beautiful, blah, blah, blah. And I had never met any of these people in my entire life. So one, just to be surrounded by, once to go into a room and not feel like I'm not only just the only black person, but I'm the only person of color, but to realize there was literally no other race in that room is a privilege that white people have that I don't think I'm ever going to have again. But for that like 3-day period, that was some of the best memories I've ever made in high school.
So it's really refreshing to attend Latinx meetings. It's nice to be around people who look like you and who have the same experience as you. The really cool thing about Latinx is that there's no right way to be Latinx.
Yeah, I think SDLC is important for students of color, especially in independent school, because you don't, like, I didn't realize what I was missing, if that makes sense. I've been very privileged to go to independent school my entire life, since first grade basically, and I never, throughout all of middle school, I never thought, oh, I'm one of 2 black females in my grade for the past like 7 years, 8 years. I never really thought it was a problem. Then I got to high school and I actually had students of color who were my friends, which I never had before. And I thought, hey, this is great. I love this, but still I didn't see a problem with the fact that I'm surrounded by white students in every corner of the school. I don't have time, or I don't have space to truly be myself. Again, like with SDLC, I got to go and be black. Like I got to talk about black things, if that makes sense, and black music, black food. Like I got to truly be myself. And then when you come back, you just feel so inspired to actually get up and do something.
I'd say like hair is a huge thing for me, because when I went to the middle school, I'd keep my hair exclusively in braids because they were so easy, and like, I don't know, I just really didn't want to like do natural hair. And then when I got to like the high school, my freshman year, I like did a perm, and everyone knows like perms are awful for your hair, but they make your hair straight, so I thought it'd be cool. But it just really didn't work out for me. It didn't look good. Not a good look. But like 10th grade, when I really like became friends with more kids of color, and like I became closer friends with other black students, I started wearing my hair natural, and that was hard in itself. And it seems weird to like think like, oh, like why would it be hard to wear your hair natural? It's your natural hair. But like it's like, even when you don't want it to be, it's a political statement, and it means something. And I think it was pretty profound for me to decide to wear my hair natural, because I don't know, I think it was me telling myself like, I'm ready to accept my blackness, and I'm ready to accept the fact that my hair will never be straight and it'll never look like that white girl's, but that's okay because I'm me.
Okay, what I love about myself. I love my hair, my eyebrows, my skin color. What else do I love? My body shape, just everything that makes me an individual, makes me feel special about myself, and everything that I feel I can use to define myself. Like I know when I walk on the street with an afro, like people look at me and say wow, or oh my gosh. And also the way that qualities about myself, qualities about being black, I don't know what it is, but black people, like when black people just go to black people when they see black qualities. Like I will see a black girl with some nice acrylics, so I'm like, wow, I love your nails, and then we have a conversation. Or someone asks me, oh wow, your hair is so long, it's so beautiful, what hair texture do you have, what products do you use, and that starts a conversation. Those are the kind of things that I love about myself and just about being black in general, if that makes sense. I don't know if that made any sense.
This is me, a Hispanic girl. This is my crown. I am a Hispanic princess, and this is why. I went through a lot to try to love my culture. Growing up, I knew, my parents told me, you are Colombian and you are Salvadorian, and that's you. Growing up, I convinced myself that I'm not either of those things, I'm American. Now I realize I can be all three. I can embrace I'm first generation American, I can embrace that part about me. I can embrace my parents' culture and their native tongue. And so that's what makes me a Hispanic. princess.
I'm black, I'm proud, and my legacy is loud. It's such a positive message, and it's also something that every 600 black students, we all chanted that together, and we were like making a beat under it, and the whole hotel that we were at, the conference center, was literally shaking. Like, all the other students, it was like a stampede was coming towards them, basically. Also, for 600 black students, we were in the majority in that whole conference out of everyone there, so that's just another thing that was crazy. We made such an impact on everyone else, and that's just an experience. Oh my god, I can't even talk about it. Never mind, thanks.
So Si Se Puede means yes we can. I think a slogan made very popular with Rosie the Riveter, but also in the context of being a Hispanic, and especially being a Hispanic immigrant, yes we can means yes I can move to another country, yes I can make a life over there and be successful. I think that's what that means, right? Or yes we can do whatever we want, we can do whatever we put our mind to. Yes?
Politically, I can think of when they go low, we go high, Michelle Obama. That's a fact, because if you go to this school, you gotta like swallow like your pride sometimes and just not respond and not like make comments when you hear things happening, and it's really sad, but yeah.
Hispanic people 101. We say things like "Wepa! Orale!" What else do they say? What else we say? I don't know what else we say. We love the ponchiche.
Pero like,
So you know, you're talking to people and then, so you have to say but like, but it's not but like, it's like pero like the other day, right? It was like raining. Just like that.
Yeah.
Hispanic people 101.